I have a friend who made a very stern decision to become vegetarian, not vegan. And she's now fighting a very difficult condition because, like, medically, she is unable to the plant-based protein and not equally digestible for everybody.
What do you think about oppression?
In which context?
Do you think oppression is good or is it bad?
It's horrible.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, oppression is bad. Okay.
Because,
What?
I mean, oppression, what's the difference then between colonization and oppression? Occupation and oppression. There's no difference. That's actually the same.
What makes What makes oppression bad? Like, let's isolate the incident between two people only. One is oppressing the other. What makes it bad?
It's okay if the person who is oppressed is okay about that.
If they're not,
If they're not, it's not okay.
okay.
So
Okay.
the freedom of the person ends where the freedom of the other person stands.
Yeah, because the oppressed person values their freedom, right?
Yep.
Okay, I like that. What if the oppressed person can't comprehend that they're being oppressed?
Then that's really a difficult case. For example, in the family with abusive relations,
Yeah.
unless the woman turns to the psychologist or a man, which is more rare, she will never learn that she's been abused, which is also oppressed, actually.
Okay.
The answer is, well, that's difficult then.
But does it make it okay?
No,
Does it make the action okay? Right? That's the
no,
question.
it doesn't.
No?
So
Not the...
there's no justification for the oppression anyway.
Okay. What if the oppressed person looks different? They have a different skin color, a lot of hair, different nose. I don't know. Does it make it okay?
No, of course not.
Okay. I like that. What if they're born for the purpose of being oppressed?
There's no such a
Still
thing.
doesn't make it okay, right?
No, it's not okay.
Okay. What if everybody's been oppressing a lot of people and for hundreds of years? Does it make it more okay that
No.
everybody's been doing it?
No.
Okay. And what if the oppressor, the person who's doing the oppression, would be financially broke if they stop oppressing them?
It still doesn't make it.
It still doesn't make it okay. I like that. Okay.
It's in company
Yeah.
run by Dutch in the 17th, 18th century. They did it for money, but it still doesn't make it okay that they had colonies and exterminated the local population.
Because we would still take the freedom away from that person, and that person values their freedom,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Should we be more worried about the oppressor or about the oppressed?
Well, of course, I'm highly biased. So I'm thinking from the point of view of my country and
Yeah.
of being ethnically Ukrainian and living and staying in Ukraine.
Yeah.
So first, the cause is to support the oppressed.
Yeah.
And then to do something about the oppressor.
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking about the great Russian culture, but it's not great. Russia has been for centuries oppressing the nations whose territory she occupied, colonized. So that's
Yeah.
why it's great. It's easy to be great when you oppress everybody else from being able to express themselves in their native language, showing culture. So answering your question, we first need to support the oppressed.
Yeah.
To make them aware that they've been oppressed.
Okay.
I will.
But if they're mentally challenged and can't understand that they're being oppressed anyway?
I really hate this expression, mentally challenged.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to name it otherwise,
understand.
but you understand what I mean. Yeah.
understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But for example, in Ukraine, the phenomenon which we have, a lot
Yeah.
of people believe they are Russian speaking, but
Yeah.
they are not Russian speaking. They have been colonized for so many centuries. They don't even realize that it's not even a post-colonialist way they see the
Yeah.
world. Because post-colonialist, it's when you become aware, oh my God, I've been oppressed for many centuries.
Yeah.
They're not even aware of that.
Yeah.
So first, well, I hate this expression, mentally challenged, because
I mean, like somebody who cannot, no matter how much you try to make them understand that they're being oppressed, they're not going to understand it.
we still have to care about their basic human rights.
Exactly.
So for example, in the
Because they
elderly-
want to be free.
in the elderly homes,
Yeah.
where people are already going through neurodegenerative processes,
Yeah.
but they don't have all the abilities which they used to have in the 40s.
Exactly. Yeah.
We still don't have the right to
No, we take care of
make,
them.
we cannot shout at them to oppress them.
Yeah.
Even if the person has a specific mental condition or has a mental disorder or mental disability, we still should not take advantage of them.
Okay, and you mentioned human rights. I'll just insert one more question there. What is it so specific that humans deserve rights? Why do humans deserve rights?
Uh, that's the wrong expression I used. Human rights can be taken away only by somebody or something with high authority. So one person cannot deprive another person from human rights. That's
Yeah.
not correct expression. The state can deprive somebody of human rights, like limiting their
Yeah, like, we mean legal rights, right?
Yes.
But there's also conceptual rights if we think about it, right? Like conceptually, we all deserve to be to live. We all deserve our body autonomy, so nobody touches our body,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So what is it specifically about us that makes it so that we deserve to live and to have body autonomy?
I understand your question. I don't know the answer. I cannot answer.
I would say it's because we feel, because we experience the world around us, because we're sentient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like because we see the world around us, we interact with it, and we experience the world around, and that's around us. That's what it is.
Maybe, but I think it's not enough. There should be something else which can be added, but I just don't have the.
Well, if
the
I would
ready
say
evidence.
intelligence, we can't be intelligence, right? Because then there's less intelligent people, and we shouldn't say that they don't deserve the right to live, right? So it is. I would say it is the capability to have emotions, to feel pain and all of this, right? To feel happy, to feel sad. I would say that's what matters more than anything, right? Because even to you in your life, if I were to ask you what do you value in your life more, would you say knowledge or the emotions, the experiences that you had?
For me, the rights is to observe somebody else's rights.
Yeah.
It's to treat them with dignity as you would treat yourself. So, well, maybe you would treat yourself badly, but still to treat them with dignity. So
Yeah.
this is what comes to my mind. Yep, that's it.
So all of these questions, they lead up to this one question, which may seem like totally different. So, but I'm not trying to catch you up on this. I have this conversation before just to set a moral baseline of what you understand about rights. So what do you think about animal rights, about animals that we sent into slaughterhouse for us, that we forced them into slaughterhouse for us? Do you think we were oppressing them? Do you think they deserve to live? Do you think they should have the right to their own body, to their own life?
I understand your question.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm able to answer it. I understand your question.
Why not?
Why not? Because our thyroid gland requires the jak my nazywają białki angielską mowę, proteins.
But we can get protein from plants. You don't need
Not
to kill
everybody.
animals.
Not everybody. I have a friend who made a very stern decision to become a vegetarian, not vegan, and she's now fighting a very difficult condition because, like medically, she is unable to the plant-based protein are not equally digestible for everybody.
Did the doctors say that that's the issue?
Yes.
Interrupting Chip here. I tried my best to find out what she's talking about, but all I could find was either IBS, IBD, enzyme deficiencies, or allergies to certain plant proteins. But all of these don't make it impossible to be plant-based, just a bit harder at first until you find out what works for you. That's why, for you, the viewer, know that most doctors barely have nutritional training and that perhaps a nutritionist could help you out if you're in any of these situations.
Yes.
Okay, but that's not the case with you, is it?
Well, I'm not a vegetarian, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't know whether that's the case.
Let me just explain it to you in a couple of seconds why I sit here. Because do you know what happens in the dairy industry? You said mention vegetarian.
Yeah.
Why do cows produce milk?
Because they gave birth to the calf, and after that, they are able to produce milk.
Yeah.
So it's a natural process if we keep them producing milk.
Yeah. So what happens is cows produce milk for their babies. What farmers do is they forcefully impregnate the cows because they don't just wait until the cows want to get pregnant. They're held in a thing called the rack. That's the industry term. Somebody puts their hands in their anus, holds their cervix, and injects bull semen in their vagina. That's the standard practice. When after 9 months, kind of similar to a human, and the baby is born, they separate the baby from the mother because
I know that.
they have to go for human conception.
I had grandmother and grandfather live in a village, so I've seen this happening. But what if it is happening not in a slaughterhouse, but what if it happens in a small, like a family yard? Would you believe it's okay or not okay?
So I believe we should not treat animals as objects. So I believe that.
I fully agree with
Would you agree on that one? So I believe that if an animal cannot consent to being used, then we should not use them.
Yep.
Right?
Probably that makes sense. Yeah.
That's what I believe. So that means that I don't pay for any animal use. That means I don't go to zoos. I don't pay for animal products. I don't know, pay for circuses, or I don't ride horses even, because I think animals do not consent to any of it. So because they can't consent, because they don't consent, I think it's wrong.
I believe it's going in the right direction. For example, even in Ukraine, we're not such an advanced country in terms of different rights. But even in Ukraine, the use of animals in the circuses have been banned. So our circuses are animal free.
What would you call a person that refuses to use animals for their whatever they need or whatever they want to?
How would I call this person?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's a term.
I have no idea.
So, veganism?
Yes, probably.
Veganism is a moral principle where we oppose the commodification of animals, and we follow through with it. That's all it is, right? Mm-hmm. It sounds to me like that kind of speaks to you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So then, what is keeping you from opposing the commodification of animals, from being vegan?
Because I'm old enough and I'm very deeply interested in how the body works. And I know very well through the blood tests and everything that unfortunately the vegetarian products cannot cover my needs in the nutrients.
But what if you were to, let's hypothetically, if you found out that you can't survive and thrive without them, would you be okay?
I would probably try. Yep.
Would you probably try?
Yep.
Why? So I feel like you're against the use of animals as objects, yes. But then when you said that you could theoretically not use them as objects, you said I would try, not I would do.
The thing is that I tried to turn to vegetarian, and I thought I had the intestine cancer. I didn't, but this is how bad it is. So I cannot consume milk.
Yeah,
which probably makes it easier. But I consume meat. I consume eggs. I eat cheese. So I tried, and my body doesn't work that way, unfortunately.
But you would agree that all of animals are used and exploited in all of these processes, right?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So if I were to give you resources that could potentially help you with this, with like, I have resources on me, free nutritionist advice, hooks you up with the free nutrition, helps you be vegan, helps you live up to your own moral standards, which is to not use and exploit animals.
I would wait until the production of artificially grown
meat.
Meat.
But why? If you can do it now, like so the impact of one person going on a vegan diet or being a vegan can save up to 100 animals per year.
I agree.
That's a lot of animals. Mm-hmm. So even if it's just one, to them it's their whole life. To you, it's 15 minutes of meal, right? It's still, it's a disproportion, right? Because I understand that if your life is at stake between your life and an animal's life, of course you should choose your own life. I myself would choose my own life, even if it was another human's life maybe at stake, right? If it were my life versus their life, yeah, probably I would choose mine.
What's the point you're trying to make?
What the point I'm trying to make is that there's scientific evidence that we can survive and thrive without animal products. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of it. So maybe you have special cases that need special attention, but let's say if you could, even in that scenario, find ways to do it, then I want to know what is keeping you, because I would like you to live up to your own moral potential.
But how about now I will go to another extreme.
Yeah.
So by saying that, do I understand it correctly that you are conveying that, for example, plants, they don't have the feelings?
Yeah, they don't. They don't have feelings, yes.
But you know that trees communicate between each other?
They do. They do, but they are just mechanisms. But let's say even this way. Let's say even if you think that plants have feelings, mm-hmm. the animals in animal agriculture are still fed plants. So you would still kill less plants by being vegan. So yeah, exactly. You see what I mean? So there's no moral justification for not being vegan, unless there's some health involved. And I'm not a health expert myself, but that's why I said if I give you resources that could potentially help you be that, Why wouldn't you try it? Why would you try it? Why and why not?
I already did.
You already did, but you said you tried the vegetarian, but you didn't try with an expert, right? Because I give you expert. I'll give you resources that are coming from experts.
Okay, please provide the resources.
If I provide you with resources, like first of all, okay, I'll provide you with resources. What I want to know is that did you understand your involvement in the whole thing? Yeah, so you understand that because you pay, the animals go into slaughterhouses.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll provide you with resources. I don't want to keep you too long. And also, I think like you have a child. I think I I I wish my parents taught me about veganism earlier on because when I learned about the practices in animal industry, it's just my only regret in life is not being vegan earlier because it's just horrible how we treat them and they're not that different to us humans.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And yet we somehow think of them as objects, we treat them as inferior, and they deserve to live just as much as we do. That's all it is. Free of our exploitation. Do you like cats, dogs? Which one do you like more?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't
I
matter.
cannot keep any of them because I have an allergy to the
Okay, I'll give you then this one that cats and pigs I think is the cutest one. So I'll give you this card. Challenge 22. If you subscribe, all of it is free that I'm mentioning here. If you subscribe to it, they send you recipes every day for how to be vegan, and they hook you up with a nutritionist. There's also personalized help. If you go on this website, type in this code or scan this code, somebody for free will log in with you on a Discord server online and help you even further. There's a lot of nutritional experts there, so they can help you out with whatever issue that you have.
Thank you.
And then if you scan this or go on this website, 3movies, WTF, and put in this code, there's a speech called The Most Important Speech You Will Ever Hear.
I'm going to challenge your belief systems today, so certain parts of the speech will be intense.
And I think it's important just to know what happens in the animal industry, because a lot of people don't know about eggs. You might think that, oh, well, what's so bad about eggs, right? But there's a lot of cruel practices behind.
Yeah, I know. They are kept in the cages. They're not even able to walk. So whenever I can, I buy it's like a free-range chicken. They're called. But
I'll tell you in a nutshell. So for eggs in hatcheries, the place where chickens that lay eggs come from, they usually go to free-range farms, to biological farms, or to whatever farms where they're kept in cages. Mm-hmm. In these places, when they hatch from the egg, there's a 50-50 chance that there will be male or female. Mm-hmm. The females go to the farms. The males, they get blended up alive on their first day of life.
I see.
It's horrible. That's standard practice. Either that or being sent to gas chambers. Pigs are sent to gas chambers. Baby chicks, male chicks are sometimes sent to gas chambers. It's just horrible things that we do to them. So if you oppose it, I just want you to live up to your commitment. I'm here speaking on their behalf, and I want everybody to, especially you, since you seem so compassionate and you seem to understand the issue.
I understand. At the same time, when I have to prioritize what I want more, I want my people to survive, to the war to be finished, because every day we have missile attacks.
I completely agree with you.
I would vote for the war to be finished, and then this is not the first priority. I hope you can understand.
I understand that it's not your first priority, but keep in mind that this isn't. You can still maintain the priority of what's happening with the war in Ukraine and do whatever activism you do or whatever it is that you do for it while being vegan. There's no reason why they cannot be at the same time. You see what I mean? I care about women's rights. I go to a lot of protests for women's rights, especially now that abortion has been, it's flaking in US. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that when I do that, I'll say, okay, I'll start exploiting animals today or something. No, I'm still vegan. They can go in parallel because every day, 3 times per day, you make a choice. One puts an animal to a slaughterhouse and one doesn't. You have to make that choice. You can it's not about, it's not that you don't want to think about that choice, but you see what I mean? Like, you can just make a choice where the animal doesn't go into that slaughterhouse for you.
Yeah, but I wish you could come at least for a week to Ukraine. And
I'm from Romania.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah.
I understand what you mean. I know what you mean. I don't know. Not in these times. Not in these times. Not in these times. Yeah.
I visited Romania just before the Ceausescu was thrown, and just after the Ceausescu was thrown. I hope you don't. I wish you could come to Ukraine at least for a week and understand that our battery doesn't have 100% capacity at the moment.
Yeah.
Now it's like maximum 50%. So you keep focus on remaining alive And all the other things, even healthy lifestyle, just goes away.
I understand that. But do you live in Ukraine now, or do you live here?
Yes, I live in
Oh,
Ukraine.
you
I
still
came-
live in
and
Ukraine?
My kid lives here, so I came to visit for 3 days. My kid.
Yeah,
So this is how it goes.
yeah. I would say just be be aware that if you have a choice, make a choice. That's all it is, right?
Thank you.
It's not about oh, nice, nicely done. Dobro utra. That's all I know. And
Yeah, that's
hello.
that's I think bună dimineața.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good
yeah,
morning.
yeah. Oh, you know the Romanian quite well. Yeah. Thank you for having this conversation. What's your name, by the way?
Oksana.
I'm Chip, Oksana. Nice to meet you.
Nice to
What's your name?
Petro.
Petro. Nice to meet you. Just, I mean, look at it this way: it's an injustice, it's a discrimination, a form of discrimination. I have a friend who's Ukrainian, and she said she doesn't want to. She wants to be vegan because it's a form of discrimination, and she doesn't want to participate in it. So, if you disagree with any form of discrimination, you should disagree, because this is based on species, right? We say
Yeah, I
they're
agree.
yeah. So look into it and maybe act. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.